So we're going to start with the part of Hilchos Brachos, which is we're going to call it not textual. Not textual. In Mirz Hashem, we're going to talk about Ikar V'Tafel. That's what Eilam wants to hear about. I hope you're not too disappointed when we finally get there, but you'll weigh in on that afterwards. We're going to talk about Ikar V'Tafel, and we're going to discuss. You have a salad. Lamaisa, what do you do when you eat a salad? What do you do when you eat chalent? What do you do when you eat soup? What do you do with how do you eat all these things? Tachlis. Okay, fine. But before we get there, there's some off-the-page halachas when it comes to Hilchos Brachos. And it's actually interesting that I mentioned this past Shabbos to someone. Someone mentioned how the bracha of Al HaMichya is a lost art. It's a lost art. After Kiddush, I try, we have Kiddush, I try to, remind everyone to say Al HaMichya. How do I do that? I say, I'm going to say Al HaMichya, and he wants to be Yaitse, just listen and you could be Yaitse. Okay. You also should not talk while you're listening. Okay, that's, stages. But one of the guys said, Al HaMichya is a lost art. I said, you have a lot of faith in Klal Yisrael. He said, what do you mean? I said, what about B'rei Nefashis? What about B'rei Nefashis? No, everyone makes B'rei Nefashis. I said, okay, he's European. That explains a lot. But us Americans, I think B'rei Nefashis might be a lost art. And the question is why? The question is why, and I believe this is a theory which has zero basis aside for what my 3-pack of tropical gushers have told me, is that it has to do with the way that we eat and the das that we have when we eat. And there's a fundamental shayla when you learn Hilchos Brachos and Mikuf Ayin Ches, Shini Makim, etc., is when do you make a new bracha? When do you make a new bracha? The first Seder is always a classical shayla. We don't really have the shayla here, which we'll save for a different reason. But you're in a kollel, we'll be nostalgic, we're sitting in a kollel in Eretz Yisrael, and you start first Seder, what do? You make a shahakal in your cup of coffee. Okay, so you drink a cup of coffee from 9 o'clock to 9:30, beautiful. 9:45, what happens? Someone walks in, Mazel Tov, he had a baby boy. What does he bring in? He brings in some rogalach and something to drink, Orange juice. Calm down, everyone. He brings you a little bit to drink. Do you have to make a new shackle? Do you have to make a new shackle? I made a shackle. Do I make a new shackle? So to answer that shayla, let's go to another shayla. I'm sitting at home. I go home. I sit down. Let's call it 9 o'clock at night. I sit down. I have a cup of coffee. Beautiful. I finish my cup of coffee. What do I do next? I go and have a cup of water. What do I go and I do next? I have a pack of gushers. What do I do next? I have a bag of Mike and Ike's. What do I do next? I have a bottle of soda. What do I do next? Right? Okay. Do I have to make a new bracha at every stage along the way? Do I have to make a new bracha? So you're going to say, where were you? Different rooms. I went from room A to room B to room C to room D. Cheder lecheder. Do you have to make a new bracha? So the question really should be, when you learn the text inside, to answer this question, you should ask, did you have das? It's tali and das. Going cheder lecheder, going from one room to the next, is tali on das. Says the Ramah, Siman Kuf Ayin Ches Sef Aleph. If you have das to go from room A to room B, the Mishnah Berurah Nakdama as well says the same thing, then it works. So you ask. Cheder lecheder. Yeah, cheder lecheder right now. Talk about cheder lecheder. It's okay. The klal we're not going to say right now. We're getting to what's not a klal. That's what we're going to get to in a moment. But you're all right. Shackle, you're talking about bayis labayis doesn't help. Bayis labayis doesn't help. As soon as you walk outside, you lose your shahakal. Which again, we'll do that more keseder. I want to give you the one oddball case, and then we'll go into the more keseder cases. So l'chayr, you should need to have das. Did you have das? So let's ask the person. You had your cup of coffee. Did you have das? He says, I don't know. I had a cup of coffee. Is that called having das? So comes along all the paiskim. Rosh Zalman, Rav Scheinberg, the Shevet Alevi, Rav Sinkarelitz, the Art School book, all the paiskim write that Bizman Hazeh, there's a new level of stam das that we have created. That the way that we eat is that we go from room to room to room to room, and therefore, I'll read the words of Rosh Zalman. He says, you go from room to room, kigoin. What's his example? Akeres habayis, tzrichalotzis tamid. The mommy of the house has to walk around. Oikigoin ha'over mecheder oichel l'sheirutim. Oikigoin ha'over mecheder oichel l'mitbach. Dinoi kidaitoi mitkrila l'kach. It's considered as if you have das in the beginning. Rabbi Yashiv says the same thing. Everyone says the same thing. And the reason really what's going on over here is that stam das shouldn't really work when it goes to cheder l'cheder. But there's a higher level of stam das that we have, is that when we're home, we're eating, we don't stop eating, which I am to think is the reason why the bracha achroina, unfortunately, has become a little bit of a lost art. Because when you ask a person, did you finish eating? He says, of course not. What do you mean, of course, now you just finish your coffee? No, I'm going to have a drink. You finish your drink, I'm going to have a candy. You finish your candy, I'm going to have a bag of chips. You're always eating, and unfortunately what happens is your bracha achrayna gets lost in the shuffle. So halacha number one, let's talk first about bracha rishayna. When you're home and you're going room to room, this to that, eating whatever you want, you don't need a new bracha. You never need a new bracha. Shahakal, mezainis, hamaitzi, whatever you want, you're all good to go. What about bracha achrayna? What about bracha achrayna? What's the shayla? Shayla is, I just mentioned, that, which by the way, this is a chiddush of the Gedalim. You read Mishnah Berurah, you would not come out with what we just said. You read Mishnah Berurah, you go cheder l'cheder, you need das. You don't have das, forget about it. Mishnah Berurah writes, pina lepina, just to show you how far this goes. If I have a cup of coffee in that corner, and I go to that corner, says Mishnah Berurah, corner to corner, then you don't need das. Azah chiddush. You see how lacking we are in what we're supposed to be cognizant of what we're doing. When you go room to room, then the Ramah says you need das. And I did not have das. But come along the Gedalim, they say that this level of stam das, that this is what you always do, and you're always going from place to place and room to room. Now, the place can discuss, is this every area of your house? Lamashal. What about the basement? If you have a basement. What about the attic, if you have an attic? Do these areas work? And okay, there's a machlekes, the pashtus is just going to have to do your balabatish and nikuda, how often you go there. If your basement is an area that the kids play in all the time, it's part of your house.
What's the question? Is it considered bias or cheder?
It's even more. It's for sure cheder l'cheder, because it's all within one roof. Right. Question is it could be within this stam das that we're creating?
You have
correct. You have stam das teeter also. Now, when it comes, you're saying bias l'bias, let's just make mention.
You don't need it.
What? If you have rooms, you don't need it. If you have rooms, you're right. It's true. Let's go. Some people let's blame it on our grandparents, so we don't have to insult anyone. The living room. The living room. You take off your shoes. You walk in. You sit down. You talk. You walk out. There's no eating. There's no anything in that room. In a chanami. But again,
you need to bracha when you come out then.
It would get difficult. It would get difficult. No, that's not so pasha. No, you just won't be able to eat there. Pasha when now bias labayis is what you're talking about. Bias. You walk outside over here. This area outside here is a very big suffix. It's a very big suffix. It's called a chatzar. What is the status of a chatzar in halacha? It's a very big suffix. Well, maybe we'll get there eventually. But let's just give the classical case. Bias labayis. You're inside your house and you walk to the street. You lose your bracha. Now, what if you walk to the street because the Uber delivery guy just delivered your Starbucks? Right? Why you paid more for delivery than the Starbucks, no one will ever know. I guess that's the beauty of credit cards, that people don't realize what they're doing, and it makes no sense. But either way, so you go outside to pick up your cup of coffee, and you come back inside. Do you have to make a bracha on it? You just were in the middle of a shackle. Do you make a new bracha? The answer is you went bayis l'chutz. So the Mishnah Berurah writes, you need to make a new bracha. The moment you go outside, you lose your bracha. A Maisa is a Yavitz, or Yaakov Emden that says Nishtazai, and the Veld Pashtus is Semech on that. He says if you come back in Miyad, you can be Mekel again. Those areas we're going to go more kasid. The one halacha we wanted to point out, within your house you're good to go. What about bracha achrayna? So now, this is the chiddush. L'maisa, whenever you're done eating, you're allowed to make a bracha achrayna. It is not considered a bracha she'inay tzricha. For example, if I'm sitting here for a Seder and I finish a cup of coffee and I say, no, I'm probably going to end up having a drink, who cares? Right now you're done. You're allowed to make a bari nefashais and a new shahakal on your drink soon, even though you're in the same room. Because I'm not right now planning on having the drink. I am done. Again, coffee, if you make a bracha achrayna, coffee is a different shmooze. For all those with the whipped cream, you drink it fast enough and you can make a bracha achrayna. Some people eat whipped cream with a spoon. Cups of whipped cream, but that's we'll tell you about that later. But you're allowed to make a bracha achrayna. Very important. Which might be the eitzah. This is a stam. Now we're just going to give an eitzah, nothing to do with halacha. If you often find, I'll put myself on the chopping block here. If I often find that because this is our eating habit, I don't make a bracha achraynas, what do? So there's two eitzahs we could give. Eitzah number one is, whenever you finish the event, you make a bracha, you finish first Seder, you make a bracha achrayna. Within the last X amount of time did I eat? The answer is yes. So I make a bracha achrayna. Beautiful. I'm sitting at home. You go to sleep. Before you go to sleep, what do? Sorry for saying Kriya Shema. You wash, okay, all the jokes, okay. You bench, you this, you that, fine. Anyways, but you didn't watch, it's a different shmooze. Even if you don't wash, big misconception in the Welt. It's a mitzvah lafarsim. Even if you don't wash, if you eat bread, you need to bench. I don't think that's a chiddush. If that was a chiddush for anyone, then it should not have been. Even if you don't wash. Why didn't you wash? Because. That's why. Because you didn't wash. You did the sing shtickle, wasn't counted washing. There was no water. You did the glove shtickle, which wasn't counted because it was water went away. You were too lazy. You wanted to, whatever the reason is. You made a mistake. Why did you say Lashon Hara? Why? Because you said Lashon Hara. Move on in life. I said Lashon Hara. What do you want from me? Okay, it's not a good thing, but we make mistakes. If you make a mistake, doesn't mean you don't bench. Big misconception out there. So that's eitzah number 1 is when you finish the event to make a bracha achrayna. Eitzah number 2 is you make a bracha achrayna when you finish eating. Even if you know probably you're going to end up eating again. First of all, it might end up being more than 72 minutes. It might be the sheer equal for liquids might be shorter anyways. You don't even need 72 minutes. You need much shorter than that. That is the eitzah to do with bracha achrayna when you're in one area. We're going to leave with a shayla. This is a massive machlekes. We're going to leave with a shayla to start Hilchos Brachos. It's something good shayla to think about. You're playing ball. You're playing ball. You're running. You're in the gym. Whatever you're doing. Okay. So what do? You take a drink. Take a drink. So what do you do when you take a drink? You make a shahakal. Beautiful. You took a drink. Excellent. Now, did you make a bracha achrayna? No. Why did you not make a bracha achrayna? Because you assume you're going to drink more. Okay. Were you allowed to do what I just said? Yes. You play for another half hour. You take a break. Do you need to make a new bracha rishayna? What's the shayla? How long does your bracha rishayna go? That is the shayla. We are all accustomed to this 72-minute shtickle that has to do with bread. When it has bread, is it even 72 minutes? Shayla. But that's what we're accustomed to, right? You want to, can I bench? I forgot to bench. Wait, it's been an hour. Okay. When it comes to shahakals, shir ikul is very different. Do you need to make a new shahakal? That is going to be the point that everyone should think about. What are the two stadim?
Why is the shayla also in your house?
That what? Whoa, what's the shayla there?
I mean, I'm packing gashers and I'm not finished eating. I'm going to have my bag of my connects in 45 minutes. So you shayla.
No, so that's stam 45 minutes, but the shir ikul didn't pass yet. You don't lose your bracha yet because you're still hungry. Here, the shayla, good, let's speak out the shayla. Shayla is, because you're thirsty again, you might have lost your bracha rishayna. Your bracha rishayna can't continue if I have a new, is that called a new thirst? Is that called a new thirst?
In the house, when I have my connects, I'm having because I like my connects.
Yeah, you're eating, exactly. Now, how long your bracha rishayna is going to go? It's going to go till as long as you're in the middle of the suda, you're at the same table, blah, 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 blah. What? It could be 5 minutes. Let's say 5 minutes. I'm playing an intense game, but whatever I'm playing.
It's not necessarily a numbers game.
It's not a numbers game.
I'm thirsty. I want water.
That's a chiddush.
Thirst on the fact that you drink water.
Very good. So what's the answer?
Why is it thirst?
Very good. So the answer to that question is that water is a massive problem in halacha. So why do you make a bracha on water? Because you're going to answer because you're drinking. It's not true. If something doesn't give you any hana, you don't make a bracha on it. The question is, what's called hana? What's called hana? You say, I drink. Hold on. No. The drinking is not necessarily called hana. If you're before a fast, this is the example everyone gives. This is probably the one case that one should actually be careful about. Before a fast, and you just finished drinking 16 gallons of water, and you're just nervous, so you can have another gallon on the way out the door, just because just so that the bathrooms in shul aren't full enough during Eicha. Miracle that we make it through Eicha. And we use Eicha because Yom Kippur, okay, it's Yom Kippur, but Eicha is But either way, so that do you make a shackle on that last thing of water? Do you make a shackle? The answer is probably not.
Drink water for the pill.
Oh, you drink water for a pill, right? Drink water for a pill. You don't want the water. You're completely not thirsty. Why are you drinking water? You're drinking water to get the pill down your mouth. Do you get your pill down the throat? Same exact shayla. Very schwer to make a shackle in those cases. Granted, what's the eitzah? What's the eitzah in those cases? Don't drink water. Drink something else. If you have soda, you have a juice, you have something that you actually get hana from, you automatically get hana. So that's going to be the shayla that we're going to end off with, which is that when it comes to when you have a new thirst, and you have to. It's something that you really need an answer because it could get very wild when you're playing ball. You could be making a new bracha rishayna every few minutes if you think about it. Yeah, no.
I was playing ball with him.
No.
And he told me, he said, Wiener said, maybe make a new shot.
But the question is then, should you have made a brain of fashis? That's part of the same shayla. And we'll leave it here. And b'siyata d'shmaya.